DBG here, and today, lads, we're going to be doing something that we do every now and again. We're going to be comparing the best team 2K21 now to the best team 2K22 now. So, lads, we're going to be looking at NBA 2K21, all the updates, all the way up to 12th of June, which is here, out of position 3. Then we're going to be also looking all the way up till, obviously, a couple of days ago in Gamma. So before we get on to, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe, lads. We are close. We are really, really close, lads. Have we hit the 290,000 subscribers yet? I just need to check. We've either hit it or we are really, really close. Apologies if there's a little bit of background noise. I'm having to record this from my bed in my parents' house because I haven't been able to get home yet since the old sickness. But also, don't worry, making these videos has actually helped me out a lot. Being active and kind of, okay, we are less than 15 subscribers away, so if we get 15 subscribers, that'd be great. But being active and actually kind of going out and doing a few things, even if it is just speaking for 20 minutes on a video, it's actually helping a lot with not only my head, but it's helping a lot with kind of getting back to normal, and hopefully it doesn't take too long. But anyway, so point guard position this year, I think it's hard to argue against going Ben Simmons, Invincible, and then going with Jordan. And the reason why is that I think that I think Luka Doncic and Simmons are the best combo in the game at the 1 and 2. I really do. Unless you want to go like this. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually go Luka Doncic and Simmons. So Luka's going to start at the point with Simmons coming off the bench. Whereas in 2K21, we did have 3 out of position. So like we'd already had out of position Giannis. Nobody used that card. AK was good, but he wasn't the point guard. My favorite damn card in the game, Cliff Robinson. I'm just saying, just a heads up. Man, shooting guard Manu Ball's nuts. But if we had this Denny Avdia, he'd be the best point guard in my team. If this version of Denny Avdia was in NBA 2K22 with his player build, he'd be the best point guard in the game. You gotta be saying, why? Why is that? Curry slide and base 3 on very quick. And shifty instead of fundamental. If we had this version of Denny in 2K22, he would be the literal best point guard in the game. Not named Luka Doncic, obviously. So, that's what we've got anyway. I'm trying to think, who do we have point guards? So obviously in Idols, you can get much in Idol Series 3 early, I don't think. Hadn't yet hit the Invincibles. When was that position 2 out? I was like Batum, Giannis, LeBron. Don't really use either of them. Everyone still used Simmons, I'm not going to lie. Everyone's point guard was Simmons, and it was probably this guy here as well. It was Simmons and Luka. Because that Luka Doncic had X on base. That Luka had, obviously, again, they're invincible cards. They have 99 every stat, doesn't matter. But Simmons had like the Curry slide. He could, sorry, wrong version of Simmons. But both versions of Simmons in last year's game were the exact same. Not gonna lie, Ben Simmons Warped Reality and Ben Simmons Invincible were the exact same. There was no difference. So yeah, it was these two. Really was. Like, no one really used Giannis. Unless you were on current gen, you speed bursted with him. He didn't really move that well on next. LeBron kind of wasn't him at that point guard position. Especially because he had Braun base. Yeah, I'm going to say that Simmons and Luka are probably the guys to run at that point guard position last year. So if we're going like last year Simmons and Luka or this year's Simmons and Luka. Man, last year Simmons versus this year Simmons. Last year Simmons is better. This year's Luka is just the best card we've ever had in my team. Which is, again, going to be one of tomorrow's videos. Like the top 10 MyTEAM cards of all time. Expect to see Luka at number 1. But, yeah, Luka Doncic in here with Ben Simmons. Australians are not going to be happy with the fact that you put the Australia flag there. Because, man, there are not many people that Australians hate more than Ben Simmons. They despise the guy. They absolutely despise the guy. So now we're on to shooting guards. So, Jordan's got to go somewhere. And if we're looking for, like, the best, it's obviously Jordan. It's obviously Invincible Jordan. But if we're looking for a fit, you'd want to put Invincible Jordan with Ben Simmons. You wouldn't want to put Invincible Jordan with Luka. The next best 2 guard, though. That's a tough one because You're looking at Kareem, who's really good. You're looking at obviously Kareem, very, very good. I think Gerald Wallace is in that conversation, but he's not the best. T-Mac is... What am I talking about Kareem? Sorry. Brain fog from sickness. T-Mac is really good. Swish 3, I didn't even look if these cards are any good. I have no idea. Come on, Phased, Kawhi, Rudy Gay. It's really... That last spot is between Rudy Gay, Kawhi, and Tracy McGrady. And I'm probably going to put in... People are going to be angry maybe, but I'm going to put in Rudy Gay. I think that normal 2 leaner with his just player build, I think it just makes him that little bit better. It's a real close one. He's a little bit better. So then 2K21. Who came out with Trial Champions? That was not Gladiator. We had 2-guard Durant. T-Mac wasn't really him. I didn't realize Draymond was a point guard. Any of these guys good? 2-guard Josh Smith was him. I mean, center Wiseman was a freaking god back then. For these, Bill Russell existed as well. A lot of great cards at this stage. Position 3. I think I'll go AK. Put AK-47 in somewhere. Kirilenko. I just want to check, had Invincible LeBron been released at this stage? No, we hadn't. Invincible LeBron. He couldn't play the 2. That's why everyone preferred Team USA LeBron to Invincible LeBron. But Ejian Lian is in with a shout. For me, I had Cliff Robinson was my favorite 2-guard for like the whole year. So I think you could maybe make the Cliff Robinson argument. But it's probably Kawhi. It probably was last year. Because Ray Allen Bass was like the best release in the game. And Kawhi was the best defensive player. I'd say Kawhi and AK were the most used 2-guards in that game. So AK and Kawhi versus Jordan and Rudy Gay. Again, I'm going this year's. Whereas last time we did this list, it was like right after Warped Reality. And I was like, well, Jesus, last year's cards were more overpowered. Well, we do have more counters. Like... LeBron and Rudy Gay can both do more than what both of those cards could do last year. These cards could really just curry slide. That was it. Now we're on to small forwards. And this year it's... Well, Giannis is obviously one of them. Giannis is most definitely one of them. And then KD. There's a lot of guys that are in that conversation, though, for the second best. Because we've obviously got Kevin Durant. And we got some of these Gamma cards. Like Pokashevsky if you're on next. Thon Maker's a beast. And again, you've still got Kawhi in that conversation. You've still got Tracy McGrady in that conversation. I love me a Sean Kemp, but he's not in that conversation. Isaac has to be in there as well. I think I'm going to put in Kawhi. Do I put in? I don't know. LeBron. There's so many that are such similar level. There are so many cards that play at such a similar level. I'm going to go with... there are literally 30 cards I could put in this position here, and you're not... Screw it. Thon, Durant, Kawhi, I don't know. Whereas last year, small forward position, there was this guy. There was this guy right here. No, not this guy. Not him. There was this guy right here, Danny Ferry. So Danny Ferry last year, he had he had 90 and very quick, which is one of the best releases in the game. He could curry slide. He had the best behind the back, the best defensive animations, best player build in the game, and just moved so fast. Danny Ferry was God. Danny Ferry was God. Looking at another player, like height mattered, but didn't matter too much. And we didn't have an invincible Giannis at this stage. We only had the out of position Giannis. So like, if we're looking at the other Giannis cards, like invincible Giannis and out of position Giannis were the only two dark matter Giannis's last year. And that came in June 25th. And we're not using like radioactive Giannis, who couldn't even play the small forward position. We really didn't have that many Giannis cards last year in general. But small forward position seems like a tough one. Like, he couldn't play Bill Russell there. Worthy sucked. Kind of like scrolling back, being like, who even was that good? Like, these are the first Invincibles. I was like, I know Ferry was God. One of these really? I mean, want to use Siakam? No. I hated TJ Warren. Man, I used this dude here. Like, Mikal Bridges was my small forward stage. Maybe it's Paul George. Maybe it's honestly Paul George. Even though I didn't really use him. Ah, no, sorry. Jesus, Chicken Man Jameson. Chicken Man Jameson. Of course it's Chicken Man Jameson, lads. What am I thinking? How did I forget about Chicken Man Jameson? The guy was like literally Luka Doncic, except instead of playing point guard, he played small forward. Power forwards this year, easy. Kareem. Bobo. Easy. No brainers. 2 7'2" giants. I think Kareem's the better player. I think people are going to find more success with Bobo. Bobo shoots better. Bobo moves better. Bobo will play lanes better. Kareem is just an overall more solid player. Then we have got the power forward position last year, where I think Bill Russell was almost everybody's power forward at this stage. It was Bill Russell. Like, even though height did really matter, it did, like, the shorter you were, the better you were for defense. This Bill Russell, Ray Allen base, he was him. He was him. He might have been the best card in the game when he came out. Bill Russell was so damn good last year. He really was. Like, looking at the rest of these like power forwards that I can use, I'm like, yeah, some of these guys are pretty good, but like, they weren't Bill Russell. They were not Bill freaking Russell. And probably what am I talking about? Probably Kristaps. Bobo. The answer was Bobo. And then people didn't really use like size at the center position at this stage last year. So it wasn't like we needed these like absolute giants. But the best centers were then Kristaps and Wiseman. All mobile cards. All really, really mobile. All of these guys were Curry slide shooting, just demigods. They gave James Wiseman Steph Curry base. Wiseman could Curry slide, could speed burst, quick dribble style. 7'1" with Steph Curry base with an unbelievable lefty upper. Kristaps and Bobo, they're Kristaps and Bobo. We know what they're like. Bobo gets a better player build. Kristaps have better stats. But this Bobo's got to start. Jesus. His Bobo's got to start. He was... Last year, be a skinny player, was moved better. Bobo was just different. So that was last year's team. In this year's team, we got obviously Taco. And I'm throwing in a curveball. As much as I love Yao, like, I think if you are playing against a smaller player, Yao is going to abuse them more than anybody. But I've never seen somebody destroy Yao like Manute Bol. Manute Bol destroys Yao Ming every time I play against Yao. So this is my best lineup for 2K22 versus my best lineup for 2K21. So you're looking at these lineups here, and you're like, point guards 2K22 definitely better. Shooting guards 2K22 definitely better. Small forwards, Giannis and Kawhi versus Ferry and Jameson. You guys don't understand how good that Ferry was. And that Ferry last year is better than this year's Invincible Giannis. And Chickman Jameson is, I'm probably giving him the advantage over this year's Kawhi, honestly. And then Bobo versus Bill Russell. Or say Bobo and Bill Russell versus Kareem Bobo. Last year's Bill Russell is better than this year's Bobo. And last year's Bobo is the best card not named Invincible Luka Doncic out of all of these players. Bobo was basically his Invincible, except he couldn't play small forward. The only reason people like, the only real difference between him and his Invincible was that his Invincible allowed you to play him, Sim Vular, and Taco at the same time. Power forwards, it's going to last year. And center, I'm going dead heat. We got Giants. We got the way the game's played this year. And we got the Giants of Taco Fall and Bobo. Or Amanu Bull. We have got those damn Giants. This year, we got Kristaps. And we got James Wiseman. We got Kristaps and Wiseman. Or say last year we got Kristaps Wiseman. Athletic shooters. This year we got Giants. I think there's just...
Giants are a professional American football team based in the New York metro.
Of course. Of course I can't say the word Giants without that happening. But we've got Giants. We got Taco. We got Manu Ball. And I'm going to say it's a dead heat. I'm going to say these are all flawless God squads. This year or last year. And I think the big difference between this year, I was going to say the big difference between this year and last year is that you can make a borderline flawless team a lot easier this year. Whereas last year you just had to be shrewd. You had to use like your Denny's, your Obi Toppins, you had to use your Mikal Bridges cards. And then you had to kind of be very, very, you had to have done your Bill Russells. Whereas this year I think you can build just like a pretty much a cheap team for 50k that can compete with almost anybody. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the video. You guys might be surprised, but no, Drazen. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.